What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta. I'm here at the Steven Singer Studio, and the show is presented by Destination Retirement, DestinationRetirement.com. Happy Friday, first and foremost. How about them Phillies? Everybody hits. Woohoo! Some people might remember that. Some people might not remember that. But I certainly remember that. Warriors are unreal. We drink the tears of the Celtics today, which is lovely as always to do that. Just bask in the joy of your enemy's defeat. When you can't get that far, at least enjoy another team getting losing in the championship, which is just, it's fun when it's the Boston Celtics. John Tortorella gets the job, and Philadelphia gets put on the world stage for the 2026 World Cup, and I am thrilled about it. Give you my takes on all that and more as the show unfolds today. And a very special guest. I have been a fan of this guy since the Eagles drafted him, and I really got to obviously start following him at the professional level. Davion Taylor, Eagles linebacker. Davion Taylor joins the show today. A third-round pick. And before N'Kobe Dean was drafted in the third round, we were wanting the Eagles to be able to go out there and get a linebacker that at least you thought they had some confidence. A guy that was drafted in the first, second, or third round, like that's good for the Eagles, right? Yes, it is. So Davion Taylor does that. Has a decent rookie year, solid rookie year in terms of special teams, what he was able to do on special teams for the Eagles. And last year, we all talk about in the Denver Broncos game, Jalen Hurts going out there and having himself a great first half of play, and the Eagles were dominant in that game, and Darius Slay had the scoop and score for the 80-plus yard touchdown return for the first forced fumble. Well, in that game, Davion Taylor forced 2 fumbles, and he was the first Eagles linebacker to force 2 fumbles in a single game since Nate Wayne in 2004. Yeah, Nate Wayne. How about that? So Davion Taylor joins the show. Now, the thing is, after that game that he forced 2 fumbles, he messed up his knee in the next game, the very next week. So just when you think you're starting to have a huge impact defensively, as we talk about professional sports a lot, they have a way of humbling you. And Davion Taylor talks about his injury, his recovery, where he is right now, what it was like to get that injury after such a great game. He talks about his football camp that you guys can certainly check out. It's definitely worth checking out. Here's some more info on it. We'll show it when Davion Taylor joins the show as well. And make sure, as well, you guys are following Davion Taylor on social media, including his Instagram. And how about this? I didn't even realize his Instagram was Fast5. _Fast_5. Fast5. That's, I guess, one of the reasons why I'm glad we changed it again from the Fast 5 to the Farzy 5. So Davion Taylor will be joining the show coming up in just a little bit. But let's start it off with the Philadelphia Phillies, who get the 10-1 victory over the Washington Nationals yesterday by mashing the baseball. For those that don't remember, back at old Veterans Stadium, the TV mic in the crowd, so you get the nat sound of the crowd, right? Not the national sound, the nat sound, natural sound, to use the TV term, of the crowd. There was a guy that was right by that microphone that would just go every once in a while, everybody hits, woohoo! And he would do that. I loved it. People were like, that guy's so annoying, whatever. But I loved it. I loved the everybody hits guy. It was like Jason Michaels steps to the plate. Everybody hits. Woohoo! Rico Bronya steps to the plate. Everybody hits. Woohoo! I loved it. Scott Rowland. Johnny Estrada. Doug Gladville. Woohoo! Everybody hits. These guys step into the plate. Dan Baker make the announcement. This guy would just time it perfectly for that lull. Everybody hits, woohoo. And I loved that guy. I think even a video game included him. The reason I bring him up today, damn near 20 years after the last everybody hits, woohoo, is because everybody hit last night. Every starter for the Philadelphia Phillies got a hit last night. And the best example of what the Phillies were able to do in this 10-0 victory, the best example of the Phillies' depth in this particular ballgame came in the third inning yesterday. It was spectacular. It was a thing of beauty. You have Patrick Corbett on the hill. He throws 10 pitches and gets 2 outs. He gets Alec Boehm to ground out. He gets Matt Vierling to pop out down the third baseline. It was a shortstop that went over and made the play. 2 outs in the inning. Next thing you know, Cesar Hernandez, good to see you, Olays what was a tough bouncer off the mound to second base, went over his glove. Munoz ends up getting on first base. Kyle Schwarber steps to the plate. Thank you very much. Hits his 17th home run of the season to right center field. Crushed it. All right? And that's just the beginning. Phillies put 2 more on. Castellanos gets in on the action. He gets an RBI single in that inning. JT Realmuto steps up, gets an RBI infield single. 2 guys right there that have been struggling get on base for you and drive in runs. Good to see those guys snap out of it a little bit. Didi Gregorius comes in with a 2-run double in that inning, makes it 6-0. Bohm appears to end the threat with a bouncer to the first baseman, Josh Bell, who ends up throwing the ball away, so he reaches on that error. You get another, still this again, 2 outs. They finally get out of that inning. 4th inning rolls around. Schwarber hits his 18th home run of the season. It's now 8-0 Phillies. Nick Castellanos steps to the plate with another RBI with a double, plating Bryce Harper for a 9-0 lead. Munoz caps it up in the 8th inning with a solo shot, his first as a Philly down the third base line, down the left field line, I should say, and the Phillies take a 10-1 lead and win the game 10-1. It was a spectacular performance, and we have talked over the last couple of weeks of all this Phillies success, now 12 of 14 victories for the Philadelphia Phillies. We've talked about their depth. Yesterday was another great example of that. Munoz helps really start things off for the Phillies by getting on base, albeit by a tough error to take, if you ask me, by Cesar Hernandez. And then Schwarber just hitting bombs. He is having an incredible June. He's hitting .302 in the month of June thus far. I believe 14 games so far. .302 in the month of June with 7 home runs, excuse me. That's pretty damn good. Home run every other game? I'll take it. 2 in yesterday's game against his former team, the Washington Nationals. I'll take it. You have Rhys Hoskins put a nice little hit streak together so far. They have 4 games in a row. Good for him. At least we see some consistency from him. And no matter what, it seems like he's hitting the baseball real hard over the last couple of weeks of the season. You're seeing it now from Nick Castellanos yesterday. He seems like he's starting to click it into high gear. A guy like Kyle Schwarber comes out yesterday and says, you know what, I'll make a bet with you right now. You're not going to see too many struggles like you have seen over the past 20-some games from Nick Castellanos. You're not going to see that because I'm here seeing the work this guy puts in every single day to make sure he brings the best version of himself to the baseball diamond. If that's the case, Nick Castellanos, as I said a couple of days ago, is the guy that I need to see turning on, especially in the second half of the season, if you're going to continue to get the numbers that you're getting from a guy like Bryce Harper, and you're going to get numbers like you're going to get from Kyle Schwarber. If you see this happen from Nick Castellanos, then that lineup that we have talked about leading up to the season, is going to come to fruition. They're already 3rd right now in all of baseball in home runs. Sucks that the Braves have like 10 more than them, but whatever. But the Phillies are 3rd right now in home runs. This lineup is starting to really rake. This lineup is starting to actually come together. And yes, I think the Joe Girardi firing, moving on from, has a lot to do with these guys gelling finally as a baseball team, whether it's holding each other accountable, whether it's just the different atmosphere that's in that the clubhouse right now. Whatever it is, it feels like everybody is starting to click. You got the hero Garrett Stubbs from 2 days ago. You have a guy like Schwarber stepping up yesterday, Nick Castellanos doing it, and like I said, JT Realmuto getting in on it as well. We have seen situations where JT Realmuto has been a bit of a rally killer, or at least a chance killer. Phillies have runners in scoring position. They have the bases loaded. They got 1 out. JT Realmuto steps to the plate, and he grounds into an inning-ending double play. It's happened on more than one occasion. But this time, he at least hits a ball on the hole to shortstop, and he's able to beat it out to first base to get that run across the plate and get a hit for himself as well. So seeing Nick Castellanos, seeing JT Realmuto start to come around might make you think that some of these other guys that have been stepping up for you can actually go back to just what their role is, which is be those supporting guys, the supporting cast members, and let the guys that are supposed to rake start raking. And we're in that month of June right now, where Schwarber turns it on. We're in that month right now where a guy like Nick Castellanos, who came in obviously really late to this ball club, might start actually putting it together for this lineup. And if yesterday is any indication, he will certainly start to do that. So I am thrilled with what the Phillies did yesterday. I loved it. Zach Wheeler didn't seem like he had his best stuff yesterday. a guy that's a strikeout pitcher, only had 3 strikeouts yesterday, but still was phenomenal. Gave you a great outing yesterday for the Phils, and that's what you want to see ultimately from Zach Wheeler time and time again. After the game, Rob Thompson talked about Zach Wheeler and how he seemed to be a tick or two off when it came to velocity on his fastball. But for the most part, yesterday was able to give you a very, very strong. And anytime you get your starting pitcher nowadays to go 7 innings, it's not like 7 innings today is the complete game of 20, 30 years ago. Like, that's what it feels like. It's unfortunate, but that's what it feels like. Remember yesterday I was talking about how a lot of scouts now in Major League Baseball, they look at like the 270 average as the new 300, which is pathetic, but that's the world we live in now. 270 is like the new 300. I feel like going 7 innings is the new complete game. It's like ungodly. It's like, oh my God, wrap his arm up immediately after that before it falls off. But he goes out there yesterday, gets you 3 strikeouts. The only run that he allowed was a home run. He allowed 4 hits over those 7 innings. Basically, he kept guys off balance and he got his outs. That's ultimately what we want to see from Zach Wheeler. And all the while, by the way, could have gone more than that. Just 86 pitches for Zach Wheeler yesterday. But still, even in a day where he doesn't look like he's got that bite on his breaking ball, or he doesn't look like he's got that high velocity that we're used to seeing on his fastball, he just gets guys out. You figure him out, Nationals lineup. You figure him out. And they certainly couldn't do that yesterday. It's unreal what we're watching from this Philadelphia Phillies team right now. Let's just hope that they keep it going. Let's just imagine this for a second here. Let's imagine for a second in a beautiful world, a beautiful, beautiful world. Let's imagine that the Phillies, in this doubleheader, which they have today, the Phillies are able to take care of business in both these games. And by the end of today, already have this series in their back pocket. Let's just think about that for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series wins in a row for the Phillies. That could be the case by the close of business, baseball business, not actual business, today. They got a 1:05 start time today. Bailey Falter gets the start today. Then Ranger Suarez starts tonight. I know everyone in the chat's really excited to see Ranger Suarez starting the night game tonight at 7:05. So you got a 1:05 and 7:05 start time. And we'll see how the Phillies can hopefully pull another 2 wins together and clinch another series victory by the end of today. I'm here for it. We're all here for it. It's unreal. I do want to talk about the NBA Finals. The Golden State Warriors, I find to be one of the easiest teams now to root for that you would really ever say the word dynasty about. Like in my lifetime, I was a kid watching Jordan, so I was in awe of Jordan. And watching those 90s Bulls was insane. And even a little bit before that, watching the Detroit Pistons beat up on teams as a kid, I was like, wow, that's basketball. Basketball's a rough sport. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't like a dynasty. They won 2. They went back-to-back. That's back-to-back. It's not a dynasty. But when you think about teams like the Patriots or even the Cowboys, certainly didn't enjoy them winning. Certainly did not enjoy the Patriots run. I grew to respect Tom Brady and all that time. But what the Warriors have done, like even LeBron James going to the Miami Heat, like LeBron James had his own little dynasty there. Really, I mean, winning 2 in Miami, winning in Cleveland, winning in Los Angeles. He's got his own little dynasty through 3 different teams. But what the Golden State Warriors have done is unbelievable to me. First off, let me spike the football for a second here that they beat the Celtics. So I'll enjoy any suffering that the Celtics have. That's just lovely. But as far as the Warriors go, if you think about what's happened to them through the course of their championships, 4 championships in 8 years. So the first team since the 90s Bulls, Steve Kerr, a big part of that, obviously, to win 4 rings in 8 years. It's pretty damn impressive. And then you think about the idea that they won a couple championships. Kevin Durant jumped ship from OKC to join up with the team that he couldn't beat. They win another couple championships. He steps away. He leaves. They lose a championship with him. They end up losing to the Raptors, if you remember that, in the championship. Then Kevin Durant leaves. Then Klay Thompson misses 2 seasons. Steph Curry misses a season. They get injured. Draymond Green is there. He gets hurt. Like all these guys that you're basing your whole franchise on are dropping like flies. They're done. We're writing them off. It's no longer the Warriors League. Kawhi Leonard's going to step into that role. LeBron James is going to keep on winning. Obviously, every team went through the pandemic, of course. And the Golden State Warriors won 15 games 2 seasons ago. 15 games. And now here they are with yet another ring. I thought it was incredible. The cameras caught Klay Thompson and Steph Curry getting ready for their trophy presentation, I believe it was. Or maybe it was shortly thereafter. I'm not sure of the time. But Klay Thompson, they're still on the court. And they had their championship shirts on and hats on and everything. And Klay Thompson walks over to Steph Curry and just goes, all we do is shoot threes and win championships. All we do is shoot threes and win championships. I love you, brother. Like, oh, my goodness. It's true. And they changed the game of basketball. With the way the Warriors have been playing, they have changed the game of basketball. And every team now tries some semblance of what the Warriors do. And it's really wild to watch. Now, personally, not to be an old man screaming at a cloud by any means, but personally, I really enjoyed 90s basketball. I love the idea of trying to get the N1 on every play. And I love the idea of the kick out three occasionally. Like, I love that brand of basketball. I love it more than what we're watching today because the Warriors really feel like the only team that have perfected it. And everybody else is just trying some moderation of what they're doing. But I really respect and quite frankly have enjoyed, other than Kevin Durant, I have enjoyed what the Warriors have been able to do over the last 8 seasons. It has really been something special to watch when you think about turmoil, when you think about guys linking up with them like Kevin Durant, when you think about losing guys like that. It's pretty wild to see what they've been able to do, especially getting back to the top of the mountaintop, that is, like they did just last night. And I just want to say I've enjoyed the Warriors run. I also want to say that I have really enjoyed watching the Celtics lose on their home court and get eliminated. So thank you to the Golden State Warriors for being able to do that. Thank you to Steph Curry. Thank you to Klay Thompson. Thank you to Draymond Green. How about Andrew Wiggins, Andre Iguodala, ladies and gentlemen, getting another championship as well. Good for them guys. This brings me to the Flyers before we get to our guest today, Davion Taylor. John Tortorella officially announced as the Flyers coach on a 4-year deal. We had the Nasty Knuckles guys on yesterday, Derek Settlemeyer, of course, and Riley Cote. Both were fans of the idea of John Tortorella becoming the Flyers' next head coach. The guarantee, I was a guest on a podcast yesterday, and they had asked me about Tortorella. And what's the positive sign here? I said the positive sign is you're guaranteed something here. You're guaranteed to either start winning immediately, because we all know John Tortorella is not going to take any crap, and we all know that I think he's a good coach. He's a Stanley Cup winning coach, as we know, from 20 years ago, but still pretty damn good. Or the other side of the guarantee. You're guaranteed that this, if it fails, will fail beautifully. It will be the car accident on the side of the road that nobody can take their eyes off, and we'll just be like, what's going on? And we'll be staring at it. What's that? We're going to see a guy on the bench that is going to have the same emotions that I've been saying all week. The same emotions as you, the Flyers fan, is going to be having in the stands. The rant and raving you might be doing in the stands or on your sofa at home, at the bar, you're going to look at their bench and you're going to see that type of intensity that you saw from Peter Laviolette, only maybe times 20. That's going to be pretty incredible. And there's going to be a comforting factor in that, even if they don't win next year. Now, here's what I guarantee also. The Flyers will have more than 61 points. I'm going to go ahead and guarantee that. The Flyers will have more points than the second worst team in the NHL, like they had last year. They won't finish dead last in the Eastern Conference. I'm confident in saying that. And if you take away anything from the conversation that we had from the Nasty Knuckles boys after John Tortorella, it sounds like Johnny Gaudreau is seriously considering a return home to the Philadelphia area, the South Jersey kid that he is. And I would love to see that. That's an anchor on your offense that you haven't had in quite some, probably since prime Giroux, to think about that for a second. The Flyers could be going through a big overhaul They're doing that with their head coach, obviously, and they might be doing that too with bolstering their roster. This Flyers team is going to be exciting next year. I think they're going to be relevant next year. They've kind of played themselves out of relevancy, multiple 10-game losing streaks last year, as we all know. I don't think too many of that are going to happen with John Tortorella as the Flyers head coach. So I like it. I still think Barry Trotz would have been a better fit overall, but in terms of getting the guarantees that I just laid out for you, in terms of the emotion you're going to have on the bench is going to match the Flyers fan, okay? I think it's going to be the similar intensity that you saw under Peter Laviolette. I think that's a guarantee. I think if it's great, it's going to be awesome. I think if it's terrible, it's going to fail beautifully, and we'll watch the fireworks happen when that happens. But there's a couple of things that I think you're guaranteed in that regard, and those traits that I think we can look forward to about the John Tortorella era in Philadelphia getting underway. So we'll sit back, wait for that introductory press conference, and let the games begin as far as John Tortorella goes. Lastly, Philadelphia has been named one of the host cities for the World Cup in 2026, when Philadelphia and the United States celebrating 250 years of existence. First off, whenever I hear that, I think, God, compared to the rest of the world, we're just babies, man. We are just babies. It's unreal. But I love this. And there have been events that have happened in the past that were supposed to be global events in Philadelphia that the city botched. The Pope coming to Philadelphia was one of those things, and I really hope that this has really nothing like that. And I don't think it will be, considering these games are in a stadium, you're not blocking off the parkway or anything like that. So there should be an easier thing for the city to handle. So people that are worried about that, I don't think that's the case here. On a smaller scale, there are people that are like, oh, there's going to be a lot of traffic, you can't get a restaurant reservation, and all this. I'm fine. I'm fine with all of this. I want Philadelphia to grow. I want Philadelphia to keep taking steps forward. And getting a global stage like the World Cup is a great way to take a huge step forward. And I think after the 2 years, really, of dealing with a pandemic and still dealing with it now, I think restaurants, I think hotels, I think this is exactly what they needed. From a complete outsider's perspective, I've never worked in the restaurant business, but I got to be thinking people that own restaurants, people that own the hotels downtown are thrilled to have the World Cup at least coming here down the line. To at least know that it's coming here down the line, I think is a wonderful thing. The influx of people it's going to bring, the reservations that they're going to get booked up, whether that's a hotel or whether that's a restaurant, I think it's an awesome thing. And overall, I think the World Cup is a fabulous event. I don't get into soccer too much. I follow the Union because they're our local MLS team, and I keep up with Jim Curtin. But when it comes to the global scale that the World Cup is, World Cup, obviously, I love it. I get so into it. And I think it's just a great thing to watch countries come together and root for their teams. And I've told you before, just to close the World Cup conversation, I told you before, one of my favorite sports stories ever. And I know you guys in the chat will love this. I'm in Amsterdam, and my buddy and I signed up for a bike tour to ride bikes around Amsterdam. Big group of people. It was like a big group of people, like 20 people. And the guy running the event had lived in Amsterdam for 15 years. He was actually from California, and he was telling us he asked us a question, and he goes, all right, here's a trivia question. You guys get a prize if you get this right. He goes, who liberated Amsterdam during World War II? And like my first thought as an American was the Americans. The Americans did it. And apparently the right answer was the Canadians. The Canadians liberated Amsterdam, which I didn't know. So as a thank you, Amsterdam, which is also known for tulips, not just what you guys are thinking about, they send whatever it is, tens of thousands of tulips to Canada for their national flower show every year as a thank you for liberating Amsterdam during World War II. Now, while they were liberating Amsterdam, the Germans started jumping on bikes. Amsterdam, even then, in the 40s, just had bikes all over the place. So the Germans, to retreat, jumped on bikes and started riding out of town. They stole bikes left and right. So fast forward 50, 60 years. Netherlands is playing Germany in the World Cup. Netherlands is winning. And the Netherlands fans start chanting in Dutch, something, 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 something. which means give us our grandfather's bikes back. Like, the World Cup brings a different perspective, and it makes you think, like, we live in a big city. If you even live in the Philadelphia metro area, you live amongst a big city. We think of this as our world. Man, it ain't even close. I love the idea of the World Cup coming to Philadelphia from a business standpoint here in Philadelphia, for economic development in Philadelphia. And I also think that overall, it's a great event. And for Philadelphia to be one of the stages for that great event is a beautiful thing. Congratulations to the city of Philadelphia. For football fans all over the world and soccer fans here locally, congratulations on getting this great event. I absolutely love it, and I'm here for it. I'm going to get into a little Father's Day tribute at the end of the show. Talk about my dad for a second. I look forward to playing golf with him on Sunday. So we'll do that. But before we get to Davion Taylor, let me tell you about Destination Retirement. My man Mike Seibert is a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement LLC and a partner of 1847 Financial and an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only, and maybe next year with John Tortorella, the Flyers as well. When it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up the current enjoyment of your income? The answer is have income streams in retirement. It only makes sense then to understand how retirement income streams work. So let Mike Seibert explain it all to you. Like the different phases of your financial life. Climbing up the mountain, like think of it like climbing a mountain. Climbing up a mountain is your accumulation phase. Going down the mountain is your distribution phase. These are the two different phases of your financial life, and each should be addressed separately. This month, let's talk about college planning. We all know that college is expensive. Ever thought about how it will affect your retirement? Let Mike show you an efficient way to help you save for your kids' college education and still retire on your own terms. Your first step is to avoid starting your growth cycle over by depleting accounts like 529s for big expenses like college. You don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle and have to start over. You can't get that time back. Instead, set yourself up with the ability to use vehicles that you can take money out of without starting your growth cycle over. Find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings. Now, your college savings can help your annual retirement savings. Michael, set up your own portal and retirement analyzer, then use the software to help you navigate through your different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, email him at gobirds@1847financial.com. That's gobirds@1847financial.com, or call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. You can also visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds and play the song. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. Steven has been in the love business in Philadelphia for over 40 years. So do what I do. Trust Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Other people might say, I hate Steven Singer. And why is that? Well, two people say that. One, people that got to buy a diamond. I hate Steven Singer because you try to get away from buying a diamond. I don't want to spend money. But Steven makes it so damn easy to buy a diamond. There's no excuses. I hate Steven Singer. You know who else hates Steven Singer? Other jewelers. Because while other jewelers are marking their prices way up, marking their diamonds way up, Steven's keeping them at the perfect price. So when you walk in, you don't have to feel like, all right, I got to negotiate here. I don't want to get the wool over my eyes. No, not going to happen to Steven Singer because you're getting the perfect price every single time. The person next to you is paying exactly what you're paying because they too are getting the perfect price. Because everyone that walks into Steven Singer Jewelers, they're getting that perfect price because they're getting treated like family. A real jewelry expert will walk you through everything. All their beautiful, dazzling diamond inventory. Right there at Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Right there on Jewelers Row, online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Ladies and gentlemen, on this Friday edition of the Farzy Show, I am very, very happy to present to you a guy that I really enjoyed having this conversation with. Davion Taylor joins us today on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Right now on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, getting ready for his third NFL season. Eagles linebacker, former third-round pick, Davion Taylor. Davion, what's going on, man?
How you doing? I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, my friend. It's great to have you. And first, I just want to talk about this because you got another camp coming up here. It's going to be your second football camp, Davion Taylor's second annual football camp. It's going to be getting underway July 7th and then going to July 8th. That's a Thursday and Friday. How do we get involved? Who is this for? And Davion, why start up a football camp?
It's as you can see on the flyer right now. Who it's for is for the first day is going to be kindergarten through the 6th grade. The second day is going to be 7th through the 12th grade, and it's going to be a little bit bigger than last year. Last year I wanted to focus on just my county and just on the high school kids. Wanted to see how it was since it was my first camp getting on the way. This year I wanted it to be. I wanted to bring the kids along because I had some parents coming to ask me, and my biggest thing I wanted to touch the youth. And that's why I really started this camp. And because, like, I know when I was younger, I always wanted some guys to come back, and I used to love going to camps. So, and just being in the position just to give back to my community, that one of the biggest things I wanted to do was just make sure I come back, start a camp, and have something the kids can look up to every year, and just come to and learn some fundamentals, learn some things about the game, and just get a lot of knowledge from some other players.
That's great. Now, you said you went to some of these camps when you were a kid?
No, I said I just went to camps in general, not just
NFL
camps. There was nobody really from the NFL like when I was growing up from the county really just coming back and having these camps. So that's one thing I just wanted to do for this generation coming up.
That's great, man. What have you enjoyed the most about being able to work with the kids through year one?
Through year one, just seeing how much they want to learn. Like last time I was home and last camp, one time I feel like when I was talking or coaching them, or when the other coach was coaching them, they were so locked in, they were so engaged, and you can see that each kid was just eager to learn. They just all wanted to get better, and they all want to make it to the level that I'm at. So you can see the passion in their eyes. You can tell that everybody who was on the field they really want to play football at the next level. And I just want to just be that motivation and just come down and just give my little knowledge and my little motivation to help them make it to that next level.
That's fantastic. When it comes to you, my friend, how are you doing? Knee injury last year. It shortened your season to just 9 games after one hell of a game, and we'll talk about that in a second. But just right now, health-wise, after a couple OTA practices, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like I'm back 100%. Coming back off them games, we was aiming to come back towards the end of the season, but it was coming towards the last few weeks, I decided I know I wasn't going to play, and I didn't want to risk injuring it anymore. So I made sure I was rehabbing during the offseason, making sure I was doing everything I can to come back feeling 100%. And I feel like the biggest thing was just hopping over that stump of like coming back from the injury, getting my mind literally just back to how it was, just knowing that I can actually use the knee like I was always using it. I can do the cuts I usually do, and it was just coming over that hump. And I feel like that's what I struggled just coming out of the injury, but going into OTAs, I felt like I came into OTAs feeling great. I was doing everything. I was able to compete with everybody on the field. I was able to just come and do everything at full speed and not feel like I was slacking behind.
Now, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but those 2 forced fumbles you had against the Denver Broncos. When we talk about the Denver Broncos in that game last year, we talk a lot about Jalen Hurts and how great he looked in the first half of that game. But there was a scoop and score by Darius Slay in that game where he had, I believe, an 83-yard touchdown return. And that was started by you forcing the fumble. It was one of 2 forced fumbles you had in that game. You were the first Eagles linebacker in almost 20 years to force 2 fumbles in one game. First off, were you aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
For Eagles fans, the last guy to do it was Nate Wayne, and I have not screamed the name Nate Wayne in frustration in so long, thank goodness. But you came up with those 2 forced fumbles in that game, and then it was the next game that you suffered the knee injury.
Yeah, it was, and it was very sad that I had a knee injury, but coming off the Broncos game with those 2 fumbles, I feel like going into the Saints game, I had a level of confidence I never had going into that next game, because I feel like after that game, I saw that I can really like be a great player in this league, and and I was so motivated going to the next game, feeling like I was going to do even more, and like having a knee injury was really like frustrating for me.
When do you feel like you're at your best on the football field? When you're doing what? I know everyone wants to be versatile, but where are you most comfortable? What are you most comfortable doing?
I love the run game. I love getting down and dirty with the big guys. Me coming down the shock and shed. For me, like I've always seen myself as a physical linebacker. I love to hit people. I love to just go downhill and just get off blocks and everything. That's just something I've always been. And then coming from Colorado with Mel Tucker, he always taught us, that's like we used to do like something called a freaks drill. Me and the tight ends just run head up, just trying to see who's gonna put each other back every single day. So like it was just me being a physical linebacker. I just love to come downhill.
Yeah, we used to game Bull in the Ring. is what we played for my 1 year of organized football in high school. And then shortly thereafter, I was like, I probably shouldn't play football. I am not good at bull in the ring.
Yeah.
When it comes to what they have told you so far to this point, to work on different things, what are those things specifically? Everyone wants to get better at everything, but what are they telling you to focus on between now and training camp to improve upon?
I feel like two main things is my processing and efficient movement. Processing, and when I say processing, is just making sure that when the ball is snapped, know what is going on. I feel like last year, even though I got better game to game, I was taking a lot of false steps. If it was a pass play, I'll step up, and I'll be like not in my zone in time. So it was just little things that slowed me up. That I feel like I need to like be a little faster and efficient movement is just when I'm coming down here for the run, making sure I'm not crossing over myself, or making sure I'm taking the right steps when I am going for a pass play, going for like it's a press play, making sure I'm like doing everything the correct way, and making sure I have all my fundamentals intact to make sure that I'm completely that it make me a great player.
Understood. When it comes to these OTAs, I understand you had a interception. Was it off Jalen Hurts, or did you force another fumble? What happened with that forced turnover that you had?
I can't remember. I don't think it was off Jalen Hurts, but I just remember like it was in a zone play. Then like it was me and Kazir White, and then Kazir broke off the ball, and like as he broke, he deflected in the air, and as he deflected in the air, I was like literally in the right spot at the right time, and I just I caught the interception.
Mm-hmm. Now, these OTAs have come under some criticism. You've only had 6 practices, 6 OTAs. You can have as many as, I believe, 13. You're a guy who's coming off of injury. Is 6 OTAs enough before training camp?
I feel like as a team, I feel like we think it is enough simply because it's taking care of our bodies for one. And then when we was doing OTAs, every single day was a mental day. We knew when we had to go hard, and then like we knew the coach was trying to take care of our bodies, so we made sure we stayed engaged when we were doing all the mental preparation. And if it was straight walkthroughs, and that's all we was doing, we were making sure that we was like it was always. Coach always say our walkthrough was like full speed into the snap. So in our mental, like everything is just full speed. If it's motion, you're shuffling over, you're doing everything. Then when the snap on, you just walk through what you have to do. So like me personally, I love doing that because I'm a visual learner, but I also have to do it on the field. And even though it's not full speed, like slowing it down for me and me taking my time and going through everything, it was an efficient way for me to learn. And I feel like it's going to be, I know it's going to be enough come training camp.
Now, some fans might hear this, and I hear it as well. And I'm thinking to myself, we always want to know that the guys are in the building. Is it really as simple as, okay, OTAs are done, see you at training camp, or are there still guys that are going to be coming into NovaCare?
Oh yeah, there's always guys gonna be coming in here and there. Like there's some guys still there as we speak. And I know me personally, when after my camp, I'm going straight there 2 weeks earlier before training camp comes, because I want to make sure I'm getting prepared for training camp, and so I don't have no injuries or nothing coming out of this training camp. And I always, every time I go back, I always see guys around. I know for a fact there's gonna be guys around the building. Everybody probably has their place to go train, but I know and I believe that team's gonna come back ready to go.
All right, speaking more about these OTAs now, Jalen Hurts is a guy that everyone's going to be talking about. You play quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. You're going to get talked about a lot. A lot of reports, and he's talked about how much work he's put in the offseason. Nick Sirianni has talked about it. Apparently, he's bulked up a lot, too. Have you noticed any difference from Jalen Hurts last year to this year?
Yes, I've seen a lot of difference. One thing about it now, I feel like he's way more confident. Like he has some extra targets now with A.J. Brown and Zach Pascal. And like he's been like completing a lot of his target more at 7-on-7 when we was doing that. So like what I've been seeing, he's looked way more confident, and he's been like, you can tell his arm strength has gotten better, and his accuracy has gotten better. Like I can see a true and better quarterback coming this season, and I'm excited to see it.
All right, what do you? Let me just ask you this then, because people will knock Jalen Hurts and talk about his arm strength. I think his arm strength is fine. I don't think it's like elite top 5 in the NFL or anything like that, but I think it's fine. I want to see basically what you just told me, which is he looks more accurate. What do you say to people that say he doesn't have a strong enough arm?
Well, from my OTAs, he was throwing a whole bunch of deep balls, and when I was seeing, like he was like perfect on the money, and I feel like it's better than what I've seen last year, me personally.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. What can you tell us about this new look defense? Obviously, you're coming back. You're going to have Hassan Reddick playing back there. Brandon Graham's coming back. You got Jordan Davis on the defensive line. Whole slew of moves. Nakobe Dean, a fellow linebacker there. It's going to be looking a lot different this year. What can you tell me about Jonathan Gannon's scheme, quote unquote, that we can look forward to coming up this season?
I don't want to get too much up into it, but one thing I can say is going to be looking 10 times better than last year. We made some additions. We changed up some stuff with our defense. And then I feel like one thing that we have that's I feel like was great for us is depth. Like everybody, even like the second, third stringers, they're going to be ready to play. They're going to be ready to come out. And like, so we'll have good rotations coming in and like, we'll just see how it goes come the season.
When it comes to leadership, Rodney McLeod is a guy that, at least from the outside looking in, seemed to be a leader on the defensive side of the ball. Who do you think steps into that role? Is it going to be one guy, multiple guys? Is there one guy you look to right now? What does the leadership look like defensively?
Well, it's going to be probably multiple roles. I can see T.J. Edwards probably one of the just because he's one of the better linebackers in the room. He was a starter last year, did good for us last year. And then like a lot of people like listens to him because he's got experience and he did a great job last year. Then Fletcher Cox is going to be one of those guys I feel like everybody's going to just listen to and looks up to. And then you have Darius Slay as the outside for the DB room. Like everybody, I feel like every position group has that leader in their room. And I feel like those are probably going to be the top three leaders coming the season.
First impressions of Nakobe Dean, first impressions of Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis is wow. He's huge. He's huge. That's probably one of the biggest things when I first saw him. Like I remember I stood side to side and I was just looking up. And I was like, man, I told him straight up, like, you was a big guy for real. But Nakobe Dean, I like his mentality when it comes to the game. Like you can tell he's hungry for the game. You can tell he comes ready to work. And then being another Mississippi guy, me and him has like kind of clicked, and we've been been getting a little closer and everything. I feel like I've been helping him, even though we play the same position. I know we're gonna have to compete come the season, but I'm not like I feel like as like being through my third year, I'm gonna help any guys coming in. I'm not selfish when it comes to like what I'm learning. So like everything I'm learning something, I'm gonna tell him. But so like I see he's what he want to learn, and he has all the hunger. I know he's gonna be a great linebacker for the Eagles.
I have to ask you this. You mentioned Mississippi, so I'm going to ask you this two-part question here. Answer whichever one comes to mind first. What was your welcome to the NFL moment, and what was your welcome to Philadelphia moment there, Mississippi kid?
Okay, welcome to NFL moment was probably the first game walking out the tunnel. Like just walking out the tunnel, even though like I got drafted the COVID year, just knowing that it was just an NFL game in my head. Like I literally just like, oh wow, I made it. That was in my head, like I made it. And then my top Philly moment was probably when I got drafted, just seeing the fans up under my my Twitter account because like I was like an unknown guy and everything. So that's probably like that was literally my welcome to Philly thing because like I heard about the Philly fans and how they could be, and then when I got drafted, it was just like some people was like happy, and like you had the two side of it. You had the bad side and you had the good side. But hey, that just comes with being a player in Philly. So I just accepted it.
The Eagles, I know this doesn't ring true in the last couple of years with yourself and Nakobe Dean, but the Eagles, like they don't take linebackers high in the draft. They took you in the third round. They took Nakobe Dean in the third round. Like I remember when they drafted you, I was thinking, "Oh my God, a linebacker! All right, sweet." Yeah. Because Philly loves defense. Before we move on here, I do want to just plug it one more time. Make sure people see that your camp is coming up here, your second annual camp. Make sure you guys check this out. I'll let you guys see the bottom of this as well for the information. Email Davion Taylor footballcamp@gmail.com, or you can call 601-730-9233 for more information. So that looks like it's going to be a great time. And also I want to plug this one more time for you as well. Make sure you guys are following. I like that you're fast five. That's also foreshadowing. That's also foreshadowing for what we got coming up here. This is great. So make sure you guys are following him on Instagram as well. Davion Taylor, would you like to play or take part in the Farzy 5 here on the Farzy Show?
Let's do it.
I like that, Zal. There's enthusiasm. Yep. All right. The band is here. You guys spicy. You guys were saucy yesterday. Spicy today. All right. First question in the Farzy 5. Best job before football. Best job before football.
It's crazy because I never had a job before football. This was actually my first job. So this is my first job.
you never shoveled a driveway? Well, no, I guess you wanted. Raked leaves? Nothing?
Okay, yeah, I wash cars. So you say best job, probably wash cars.
Wash cars. There you go. And little money, money under the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go-to fast food place.
Chipotle. I'm not sure if that's really called fast food, but that's my favorite place to eat. So.
If it's a favorite place to eat, God, it's gonna take you to a restaurant in Philly. Come on.
Yeah. Well, fast food, it's every day.
My personal thing with fast food is if you don't have a drive-through, you're not that fast. So that's my rule. That's my rule.
Okay, well,
but hey,
in that case, it's Chick-fil-A.
There you go.
Chick-fil-A.
Love it. First date deal breaker. First date deal breaker.
Not good hygiene. Yeah, because I've had that happen before. So you gotta, if you're not smelling good, you gotta. That's a deal breaker right there.
Now I'm gonna give you an Eagles edition as an Eagles player. Okay. Who's funnier, Brandon Graham or Darius Slay?
Got to me is Darius Slay, man. He's a true character. Brandon Graham is funny now, but Darius Slay, he's gonna come every single day, every single moment. Like he's gonna be funny. Like it's gonna be something funny coming out of his mouth every single time.
Copy that. And then here's the last one for you here. I'll two-part this one, but first part of it. If you had to pick one teammate to drive cross country with, who's your road trip partner?
Oh, it has to be Gardner Minshew. If anybody knows, he's like the best person to go on a road trip with. He has his own bus in the parking lot. Yeah, you go on fishing trips.
Wait,
like
bus?
Yeah, like for OTAs, he drove his personal bus to the park. Like he was on a road trip, drove his personal bus, and was sleeping in the parking lot the whole time during OTA. Yeah, if that had one person on a road trip with it would be him.
And I assume you would be taking his the Minshew mobile.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And then I'll ask you this one. You're such a nice guy, and I'm going to ask you this though. What makes Davion Taylor beep his horn in traffic?
Beep his horn in traffic.
What makes you give a little har? What makes you give a little speed it up there? What do you got?
I almost hit my car because I got that's my baby, and then so you almost hit my car, you're gonna get a honk.
What are we driving these days?
Mustang GT 2020.
Not a fella.
Got
some muscle.
Baby now.
Davion Taylor, an absolute pleasure. I hope I get a chance to talk to you in person. And hey, you guys can wrap it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Take 5. See ya. These guys, they just keep on playing all day. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I wish you all the success in the world with the Eagles, and I just know that this football camp with the kids and everything is just going to be fantastic yet again. And make sure you guys are following Davion Taylor on social media as well. Davion Taylor, thank you so much for joining us on the Farzy Show.
All right, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Davion Taylor joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation. As I said before the interview, and I'll say it again now in closing, I thoroughly enjoyed talking to Davion Taylor. Great dude. We talked a little bit before the interview. We talked a little bit after. Just a great dude. Really enjoyed that conversation. I wish him nothing but success as his career goes on. And I like the fact that he acknowledged that with the Kobe Dean, he's going to be competing for a job, but that doesn't mean he can't get along with the guy. It shows you that he could be a good teammate, certainly. So my thanks to Davion Taylor for coming on, and make sure you guys check out that football camp if it in fact applies. I saw somebody in the comments say this kind of makes me just want to have kids. Sean Gillespie. Dan, that football camp makes me want to just have some kids, sort of. Good stuff. He joined us. He joined us, of course, on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Folks, when you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopedics physician, because they not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. RothmanOrtho.com. Versus game. Check out Farzy Show on Versus Game. Want to see the logo? Boom, there's the logo. Check out the Versus Game app in the App Store or Google Play Store. Download it to your phone and let the games begin. Have yourself a great time with the Versus Game app. Our question right now, Bryce Harper based. He's got 4 games to hit 4 home runs. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. But make sure you follow at Farzy Show. That's the question we have out there right now. It's always binary. It's always yes or no, this or that, one or the other, whatever you got. That's always the Versus Game app. We ask questions. Sometimes they have to do with pop culture. Sometimes, most of the times, they have to do with sports. In this case, the question we're asking at Farzy Show on the Versus Game app is a simple one. Will Bryce Harper hit more than 3 home runs over their 8-game stretch? They got 4 games left in this 8-game stretch. So far, 0 home runs for Bryce Harper. What the hell, man? Trying to win some people some money. Download the Versus Game app to your phone. Have yourself a good time. Make sure you follow at Farzy Show and have yourself a grand old time. Speaking of a grand old time, how about some Freestone Farm CBD? You like CBD? Do you use CBD? Do you enjoy CBD? Do you enjoy getting 20% off things that you normally pay full price for? Well, how about using promo code Farzy at FreestoneFarmCBD.com? That's FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Promo code Farzy for 20% off your CBD. Freestone Farm CBD knows what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've probably tried some different brands, but honestly, Freestone Farm CBD is amazing. It's great after working out, to help you relax, for your post-workout feel. It's also great just to help lull you to sleep at night as well. What's even more exciting, though, our friends at Freestone Farm CBD just unveiled an all-new strain menu with some supremely good CBD at prices that you'll love. Check out FreestoneFarmCBD.com. That's FreestoneFarmCBD.com, and you'll find it all right there. Their menu is something to marvel at. Like their tropical-tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu Kush, and 21%. The genetics of these guys are off the charts. They grow their premium hemp flower in the Garden State with all organic inputs and IPM. There's absolutely nothing synthetic from farm to jar. After harvest, they carefully preserve all the plant compounds with a perfect 3-month cure. Just one look or smell. Let you know it's CBD done right. So go to FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy. Spelled right there. Farzy. For 20% off. FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Freestone Farm CBD. Just some damn good CBD, if you ask me. How about the people at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsStation.com. Thank you. I was going to save this for the morning rush, but SB Ricky, I'm going to hit it right now. You're the last comment here. I'm going to start with you, actually. Let me just say this. I don't care. Like, anytime a team rebrands, as long as it's not a total catastrophe, like all of a sudden the Eagles are wearing red uniform, I don't care. I looked at the logo. I was like, oh, okay, you guys felt like you needed to change something, good for you. It starts a conversation. Okay, fine. I don't care. The Eagles have a new, what do they call it? A word mark with the old Eagles that looked like it was flying on the page, whatever, to something that was more bold and just right there and looks more stagnant and stationary, which is fine. It's fine. I think it looks good. I don't think it looks terrible. I'm fine with it. But here's the thought I had when I was scrolling and seeing people's like outrage over it. I was like, here's the deal. It's 3rd and 1. The Eagles try running up the middle. They don't get it. It's 4th and 1. The Eagles try a swing pass. They don't get the first down in a crucial game against the Cowboys. Nobody is going to say, well, at least they changed their word mark. Like, nobody gives a damn. Doesn't matter. You're getting Kelly Green uniforms back eventually. Great. That's it. And I don't think anyone, if I said to you, hey, what do you think of the Eagles word mark before yesterday? You would have been like, what the hell's a word mark? Well, you know, like their name written logo, their full name, like Eagles, how it's written out, the word mark, it's fine, I guess. But the minute they change it, I think the old word mark looked better on a shirt. I'll say that. There we go. The new one is fine. I think it's more of a classic look, and I enjoy the classic look. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like a classic look. So there you go. Let's start it off here. Dan Schwartz. Had to finish up the full episode later for yesterday. Still can't believe Mark got accused of smoking in grade school. Your eyes are so red. Allergies. But why does it still smell like weed in here? Daniel. For those that missed the show yesterday, I told a story about how I'd get allergies in school and have to go to the bathroom to try to wash my face. And that would only make my eyes more red. And I'd come back and people would be like, what were you doing in there? Allergies. Okay, Mark. April, good morning. Kevin, good morning. Mickey Diaz, what's poppin'? Kevin, hello again. Dan, hello again. April, just dropped my kid off at a field trip in the Outer Banks. Wow, imagine that. A field trip in the Outer Banks with summer camp. Meanwhile, April goes back to work, she says. Well, April, I'm glad we could be here along for the ride. Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Morning, Celtics lost. Yeah! I bask in it. I just saw Anna Horford say something along the lines of pots and pans. What the hell did she say? I don't know, but she called us scallywags. As I have said, Anna Horford enjoys poking a bear. Okay, she enjoys trying to have some fun with Philadelphia people. But I got to tell you guys, I'm a sucker when it comes to the word scallywags. Anytime somebody can work in a scallywag reference, I'm here for it. Oh, did she wouldn't have deleted the tweet. Oh, wait a minute. Real Prince, was that you? Damn you, man. It was you, you bastard. Hold on. No, it wasn't. No, it was. Real Prince, damn you, changing your profile pic. You get me every time. Still looks better than 90% of Philadelphia scallywags. See, why do you do this? You get guys like me who take a glance at Twitter. You bastard. Anyway, good job. You got me again. Real Prince. April, good morning, and Sean Gillespie, good morning. Wait, what do we say during games? Oh, everybody hits? Woohoo! That's great. That's a beautiful marriage. A marriage that can say everybody hits woohoo is a beautiful marriage. Good for you guys, April. 2 more Schwarber bombs yesterday. 70, leading the league in home runs, man. That's not a bad thing. I very much enjoy seeing a Philly at top of that list. I just want to pull that up to get the top 5 guys for you guys real quick. I love when I forget to do something before the show, and then I'm like, I'll just do it during the show. You know, the internet's fast enough. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber leading the National League in home runs. He is in a huge tie for, let's see, Austin Riley's got 18. Byron Buxton's got 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. 5 different guys in the National League, or excuse me, 5 different guys in all of baseball have 18 home runs. Aaron Judge's 25 home runs leads the big leagues, with Kyle Schwarber having a share of the lead in the National League. So that's nice to have. At least that's nice to have. I will say this, the unfortunate thing, he doesn't have the lowest batting average of all these guys, does he? Yes, he does. But you know what? He doesn't have the lowest on-base percentage, so that's at least nice. So there you go. Let's get back to the chat. Mickey Diaz, we sweep the doubleheaders today. We win the series. You're damn right, Mickey. Great minds think alike. Dan Schwartz, we need to sweep. Only way to gain ground in second place, soon to be first place Braves. They don't lose. Still haven't lost a game in June. What the hell, Braves? What the hell? When I was looking at the teams, can I pull that up quickly? Let's see if I can do that. When I was looking at the team numbers for home runs, the Phillies are third, as I mentioned earlier in the show, in home runs this season. The Yankees in home runs, wow, 25 of them are Aaron Judge's alone. The Atlanta Braves have 97. The Phillies have 84. The next team in fourth place, the Milwaukee Brewers, they have 81. That is, gosh dang it. Let's get some guys on base for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we got with the Phillies. What else do we have here? Take the overs. Doubleheader pitching matchup are not the greatest. Ray Fitzgerald, nice to see you again, buddy. Always lurking. Drop it in the comments. Yeah, that's some great advice. I would take that bet. That's some good action right there. Mickey Diaz, if the Phillies manage to sweep all 5 games and the Braves lose at least once, the Phillies will be in second come Monday morning. Mickey Diaz, looking ahead. Love it. April, wow, 1 complete game in mid-June? June? I know. Crazy thing about when the Pope came to Philly was the traffic. Mark tried to get through to offer him a smoke session, and he wanted to. I can't read the rest of this. My mom watches this show. I can't talk about the Pope like that. Although I will say, I was living in Spring Garden, the Spring Garden section of Philly at the time that happened, and there were people pissed, like, about the way the city handled that in terms of all the checkpoints. Like, I remember I went out with a buddy of mine the night before everything started, and when we came back, there were bike racks just all over the place. Like, we had to hop bike racks to get back to my place. We had to park on like the opposite side of Broad Street, yeah. And we had to walk like 6 blocks up to get to my place and hop a couple of bike racks. And there were the armed guards, and I was like, wow, okay, guy with M16 in camo. Nice to see. Good evening. Gonna go to this bar over here real quick. Oh boy. God bless and keep Davion Taylor, a brother in Christ. Happy to see him on the show this morning. Mickey Diaz, so true. Davion Taylor, it's wild, man. He didn't play high school football because his religion is Seventh-day Adventist, I believe, and he couldn't play on Friday nights. So he didn't play in high school. He practiced with the team throughout the week, but didn't play in the games. How much of a tease was that to the head coach? You watch this monster run around all week, and it's like, I can't even use him in the... Come on! Mickey Diaz, hey, Mark, who will you be cheering for in the World Cup? Italy or USA? Well, first, Italy has to make it to the World Cup, Mickey. And yes, I would be rooting for... usually, I'd be rooting for the Italians. But being on home soil and being a host city, USA, baby. USA. All the way. Crazy thing... April, you've noticed this as well? Jim and I had a good laugh at this comment, April. That's how you know you're talented, when your first job is sports. I think you pretty much know that's how I've made it. I'm not going to have any other job other than, what do you say, washing cars? Yeah. Sports is my first job. My first job was landscaping for my grandfather when I was 7. Not kidding you. Happy Father's Day, Papa. Oh, April. We'll get Rothman down there to take care of you. Hope you're okay. Wait a minute. Sean Gillespie, Chick-fil-A needs to sponsor the show. At this point, they do. April, I know it's terrifying. I remember my parents' faces every time I cost them money. Oh, yes. Very true. I would have a lifetime supply of Hindu Kush CBDs with kids and multiple cappuccino machines. Sean, good for you. How do I get my hands on a Farzy Show coffee cup? These were made. What did I do? Etsy? Vistaprint? I don't know what I did. I don't know. DM me. I'll send you one, brother. I don't hate the new font. Oh, this is Jim speaking. I don't hate the new font, but I will say the previous font just fit the logo so well with the with the deep drop shadow. Doesn't make sense to me. Oh, there you go, Leonard. And Leonard, you're looking in from Ensenada, Mexico? Is that where you're at? Like the new Eagles logo, out with the old, in with the new. There we go, Leonard. You and I, muy bueno. Simpático. No? ¿Dónde está baño, por favor? Philly Podcast. What's up, guys? What's up, Farzy? I'm never up this early. Well, welcome to the party, pal. T-Bro, what's up, bud? Yo, Farzy, happy early Father's Day. Sort of breaking news. Avoid 95. Okay, thank you for this, T-Bro. Avoid 95, apparently like the plague. Took me 5.5 hours to get to Wildwood last night. Ooh, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that. Mickey Diaz, happy Father's Day, everybody. Happy Father's Day. April, happy Father's Day to your husband. Isn't there a big music festival in Wildwood this weekend? It might be. I don't know. Happy Father's Day, all, says Sean. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, all the expecting fathers and all that. Whoever we got in here and everybody. Dan, I know, happy Father's Day to you, my friend. Let's jump into the morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Mention the Phillies doubleheader today. They sweep the doubleheader. Then you know what happens? They do a little thing called winning a 5th series in a row, which is pretty damn good. First game today. The Phillies, as I mentioned earlier, Bailey Falter gets the start for the Phillies, 1:05 start time. He will go against today, Johan Alden, at Aiden, excuse me, I believe is how you say it, Aidan. He's 1-10 on the season with a 6.95 ERA. Right-handed pitcher. Phillies tattoo this guy. Yes, please, and thank you. Ranger Suarez gets the start of the 7:05 nightcap of this game. He'll go against Paulo Espino of the Nationals. Espino is a bullpen. It's basically a bullpen game for them. So we'll see how he does. Last time he pitched more than 3 innings, he allowed 1 run on 4 hits. So there you go for tonight, 7:05 start time. Everyone this weekend, drink the tears of the Celtics and enjoy every second of it. In closing, I want to tell you about my dad. I don't think I did this last year, and if I did, excuse me, but it's Father's Day, so I'm going to do it again. First off, shout out to my grandfather, who lived to be 100 years old. Passed away a year ago this past February, and he was a huge influence on my life. I had the opportunity to live with him for a year, and I was in first grade in just outside Baltimore, Maryland, Dundalk, Maryland. The man raised 12 kids. He was married for 73 years, and I just still admire him to this day. Huge influence on my life. Like I said, I told you guys he was an usher for the Orioles for the vast majority of my childhood. And I got to go down to Orioles games, and his section was right behind home plate. So we'd always go sit behind home plate and sit in the section and all that stuff. And if the Ripken family was there, he would like sit us next to the Ripkens and stuff. It was great. Really admire that man. And my father. I want to tell you about my dad, Joseph Michael Farzetta. My dad really got dealt a tough hand in life. And I'm in awe of the father that he has been to me. He is the son of, he's the 4th son of immigrant parents from Italy. And he lost his father 11 days before his first birthday. So I didn't even know his dad growing up. My Uncle Sonny, real name Lou, whom my son's middle name is after, was like a father to him. So shout out to my Uncle Sonny. But my dad, he had male role models in his life, people to model, after, good people, good humans, learn how to be a man. But he lost his father 11 days before his first birthday. He lost his mother when he was 16 years old. He was the first of the family to go to college because my grandmother's dying wish was literally get Joey an education. And my Uncle John made sure that my dad got that education, going to St. Francis in Breezewood, is it? Middle of PA. He worked his ass off. He was in pharmaceuticals pretty much for the vast majority of my life. He was in social work when he started out, made the switch over to pharmaceuticals when maybe I was a baby. And he's worked his ass off. And his goal and my mother's goal, their lives were to make sure that my brother and I got educations, which we did. My brother going to Penn State. I went to Temple. Could have gone anywhere. And he has just been an incredible role model to me my entire life of work ethic and devotion to family. And I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have a father like I have in Joe Farzetta. So, Dad, happy Father's Day to you. To all the fathers watching this right now, happy Father's Day. I don't know about you guys, but I'd gladly trade my birthday just for another Father's Day. I love Father's Day. And to all the expecting fathers out there, or the guys that are, just about to embark on maybe trying to have a kid. It's the greatest job in the world. It's simply the greatest thing ever. I've explained it to friends of mine that are expecting. I've told people this that I know are looking to get married and start their own family. And I'll say I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I I say my opinions into the air in my home, and I pay my mortgage. And that's thanks to you guys. I had my dream wedding. My wife and I just celebrated our 4-year wedding anniversary 2 days ago. And all that is incredible stuff that happened, but it's just stuff that happened compared to becoming a father. It's the greatest joy in life. I always tell you guys, early fatherhood especially is the most joy a man can experience while having zero fun. like nobody's, like I always say, nobody's planning a bachelor party. Like, I know what we're going to do. We're going to create, we're going to raise some kids. Like, no, that's not fun. But when you're doing it because you're their dad, you're their father, it's just the greatest joy ever. Literally changing the worst diaper ever. And I'm thinking there's no place I'd rather be. It's the weirdest thing. So all the dads, happy Father's Day. Enjoy your day. And all the expecting fathers, congratulations. It's the greatest joy you'll ever experience in your life. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to all the dads, moms as well. This is the Farzy Show, presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. And, of course, it's a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Farzy Show is presented by Destination Retirement. Jim Hyden produced the program. Did a phenomenal job, as per usual. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Have a wonderful weekend. Let's go, Phils, baby. Win them both today. Let's get greedy. Why not? And Kyle Schwarber, how about 2 more Schwarber bombs? Why not? Let's get greedy, like I said. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day. Take it easy.